We now jump feet first, I should say, into the first topic of conversation as we got the Alabama secondary, and we look at one, Patrick Surtain II, and should he make this move, or should Alabama transition him from outside corner to nickel corner, slot corner in that star role? And I think they need to, and this would be a good move, a great move actually, due to the fact that I got a chance to speak to a couple of close sources, respectable sources of mine that have a lot of knowledge within this program, and according to them and what I've been told by them, Nick Saban has been wanting to do this for quite some time, has not got around to doing it, but has been wanting to take Surtain and move him from outside corner into that nickel slot corner, that star role on the defense, to create more diversity, to create more versatility, to get more guys on the field. Coach Saban has always been one for, we got to get our best defenders. We got to get our best athletes. We got to get all of our playmakers on the field, especially from a defensive perspective. When you look at the secondary, you got to have more guys that can take the angle away, right? You got to have more guys that can help and run support, that can affect the quarterback if need be, but most importantly, have more guys in the secondary that can defend these speedy, physical, big play wide receivers, play the ball as it's in the air, and create turnovers on the football field. And despite Surtain's size at 6'2", 203 pounds, he's probably put on more weight as we are in the offseason, but despite his size here at 6'2", though he has the ability to be a lockdown outside corner, there were moments last year where he had his struggles there, and his freshman year, of course, we saw it in 2018, made the All-SEC freshman team. His sophomore year this past season, a decent year. He did have 42 tackles, did have 8 pass breakups. He did have 3 forced fumbles, 2 interceptions, but there were also moments last year where he would be in phase, he would be in pocket, he would be at the right spot, and whether it was a wide receiver going up over the top of him making a catch, or, a wide receiver just, wanting the ball more on the outside. There were even some moments where maybe a wide receiver got, a little bit too handsy and pushed off. Officiating staff didn't see it. Whatever the case may be, he did not have the best sophomore year in terms of imposing fear upon receivers than what he had his freshman year. So that move to inside corner, slot corner could be, or to me it will be, a better spot for Surtain as a whole. And starting this off in it being a better spot, and being a better move for Alabama moving him to slot corner, is it would give Nick Saban the opportunity to have more freedom for a Josh Jobe. Josh Jobe is somebody at 6'1", 190 pounds from the Florida area. Jobe, of whom a physical guy, he takes pride in getting in the skin, in frustrating wide receivers, in confusing wide receivers, and not just that, but having that physicality to, rough some guys up there on the field. He loves to jam, loves to press, loves to be physical at the line of scrimmage. And while he's got that passion on the field, and you love the passion that he brings, the thing that Joe is going to have to get a handle on is playing with emotion, not being emotional, and not allowing his physicality to bleed into getting called for defensive holding or defensive pass interference, flags like that, to where if you watch him play, and this is just for the purposes of officials, referees will let defensive backs and receivers hand check. Hand fighting is fine. Both guys are battling for position, jockeying for position. They both want to try to make a play on the ball. So hand checking, officials will let you fist fight. Officials will allow the first 5 to 7 yards of jamming, of being physical, of trying to keep the receiver from coming off the line of scrimmage. They'll allow that. Officials will even allow a slight tug or a slight snag at the jersey, as long as you're not impeding that receiver or not allowing that receiver to have a chance to make a play on the ball as you're trying to have a chance to make a play on the ball. So as long as both parties are getting that opportunity to catch the football, make a play on the ball in question. Officials are fine with any type of physicality being done as long as the receiver is not impeding the DB, defensive back not impeding the receiver. So for Josh Jobe, as much as he wants to be physical, we know he can be a dog on the field, and the fans as well as the coaching staff, they don't want him to lose that edge, but at the same time, be wise out there in not allowing the physicality to bleed into you getting flags on the field. But here's a guy that does have the outside presence to frustrate wide receivers. Along with Josh Jobe, you have a guy in Ronald Williams Jr., of whom Nick Saban, when he recruits JUCO guys, he recruits them to play. He recruits them to start. He does not recruit JUCO guys to sit them. And Williams, coming from one of the best junior colleges in Hutchinson Community College, so he's got experience here. And you remember Deion Blue, also John Fulton, and on top of that, Savion Smith, just a couple of guys that come to mind here, came from junior colleges. They came to the University of Alabama. Nick Saban immediately played those guys, and those guys had impact, and those guys made solid plays. Did they have their mistakes on the field? Yes, they did, but did make solid plays on the football field. So when you look at Jobe and Ronald Williams, moving Surtain to star gives those guys a chance to come on the field and show they can be locked down, shut down, island corners, dominating their respective side of the field. And how this would go in to help Patrick Surtain would be, case in point, look at Minkah Fitzpatrick for just a moment here. When Surtain came from Florida, Plantation, Florida, to Alabama in the 2018 class, the guy he was mostly compared to was Minkah Fitzpatrick. Surtain at 6'2", 203, Fitzpatrick at 6'1", 207, so similar body type there. Fitzpatrick from New Jersey, he played at St. Peter's Prep School, and that program, the system that was ran there was highly similar to the system being ran at Alabama. So he came in already pretty knowledgeable in 2015 of what's going on with the Crimson Tide program in the secondary. And when he came in, he literally just about beat out two guys at two different positions. He beat out Tony Brown for the star role, and almost beat out Marlon Humphrey to start at that, corner spot opposite. 8 interceptions, including 4 return for touchdowns. And this is all coming from that slot corner spot. And then the 2017 year, he's transitioned over to safety, has a great year. It ends up being drafted in the first round of a 2018 venue by the Miami Dolphins. Of course, now he's turning up with the Pittsburgh Steelers. So Fitzpatrick playing multiple roles enhanced him. Derwin James playing multiple roles at Florida State enhanced him as he got picked up by the Chargers. And then Isaiah Simmons playing multiple roles on defense with the Clemson Tigers enhanced him as well. So in the NFL, the more spots you can occupy, the more spots you can play, the more versatility that you have, the more marketable you become at the next level, just in terms of the NFL. So then there's that. And then when you look at just how the production of wide receivers is coming across nowadays, most guys are getting their damage done in the slot. At Alabama, Jerry Jeudy got his damage done in the slot. So did Henry Ruggs. So did Jalen Waddle. Among the guys that were drafted in this recent venue, CeeDee Lamb of Oklahoma, also Justin Jefferson of LSU, got the damage done or the primary damage done in the slot. So when you have a guy like a Patrick Surtain at 6'2", long arms, good wingspan, intelligence, great speed, more so of his skill set, right? On outside corner, you're kind of limited. When you're slid inside, now you can go over the left, you can go to the right, you can backpedal straight up. More of that skill set is now unlocked inside the slot because you're going to have a chance to really frustrate kind of the opponent's best receiver from that inside corner row. Because for slot guys, they got to worry about, are you taking away my inside? Are you taking away my outside? Can I run this slant? Can I manipulate you this way? Can I set you up this way with my footwork? A lot is put on the brain of a slot receiver. A line is going to be required of a slot receiver. So you're putting your best defensive back at that star role, at that nickel role. You're going to give Surtain a chance to frustrate the opponent's best weapon in a spot where they feel the most comfortable at. So this helps out Alabama in the ability to get more guys on the field, to have more versatility, more diversity on the field, especially in the secondary. And this gives Surtain an opportunity to be able to turn up, make himself more marketable, not just for the NFL, though that is his goal to get to the National Football League, but also be able to take away an opponent's best receiver. And going back to the sources I've spoken with, Surtain's father, Patrick Surtain Sr., who played 11 years in the league for both the Kansas City Chiefs and the Miami Dolphins, he's actually been working with Surtain second on specific drills, specific training, specific technique, just coming from that slot, that nickel corner position. So if Alabama was to move Surtain inside, be huge for Bama, be huge for Surtain as it looks to contend for a national championship in the upcoming season. But folks, that's going to take us to our first break here on In My Own Words, the podcast. Just getting started here. Don't touch that down on a Friday. Upon our return, we dive into your phone calls, tweets, text messages, thoughts, questions, and concerns right after this.
Every sports fan deserves the proper representation. Whitwell Sports introduces to you the Title Towel. Wave that Title Towel in the air like you just don't care in support of Nick Saban and the Alabama Crimson Tide. Only $9.99 and it lasts a lifetime. Head on over to whitwellsports.com and get your Title Towel today. Touchdown Alabama Magazine is Alabama football's premier publication. A subscription to Touchdown Alabama Magazine is the perfect gift for any Alabama fan. For exclusive news and information, recruiting updates, a free annual print magazine, and more, go to touchdownalabama.com and click join. Only $5.95 per month or pay $49.95 for a full year subscription. That's a saving of almost $22. Make sure to subscribe before it's too late and get our new freshly printed end of the year magazine issue. Go to touchdownalabama.com today and roll Tide.
Thank you for watching Touchdown Alabama Magazine's YouTube channel. To continue to get the best in the Alabama football content, subscribe here and turn on your notifications to stay connected with the hottest shows covering your Crimson Tide.